You think people are really gonna watch this,
They ain't got nothing else to do.
right?
Word.
I ain't going on social media talking shit about TDS radio. I know that much.
My man, Coach Block.
What's up, cuz? How we living?
You're rocking with TDS Radio.
Get it, Kim. All right. She got a vision, and she wants us to execute this vision.
Ooh, man. That's what TDS is about today.
Ken and Kim are the two dopest siblings that I know.
All right, you ready?
Am I ready? Are they ready?
Nigga.
What's up? It's your man, Coach Block, one half of TDS Radio. Killing y'all with the lazy collar today. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I forgot to remind you about your hat.
It's all right. They done seen it now. What am I hiding? just going to be transparent with you guys. This is it. If it grows, it's going to look wild. I ain't let it grow, though. I got to cut it this weekend. I'm out here looking like Chico Bean. You ever see what he look like without his hat?
I have.
He braids it. So he lets all this and just let it be.
That's terrible. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
What's up with everybody? How is everybody doing today?
There we go.
It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. It is a great Wednesday. Yeah.
Definitely thought today was Thursday.
Yeah, we gotta get through this one. So what we got? What's in store?
Well, of course, we have Embodi Balance with Dr. Janze coming up in the next hour. So we will be talking about weight loss, nutrition, things like that, making sure you guys are sticking to your plans in the new year and making your total body health a priority.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I'm working on that. I ain't had, besides those little bit of gummy bears.
I was just about to say, you had gummies.
No, I ain't like Chuck. I don't eat those sweets. You had 2 cookies today. I had those gummies, but they got me out here like a crackhead. So I had to look at the serving size. Like, okay, so I get 8. So literally, I counted out 8 in my hand. And,
oh yeah, yeah. They were delicious though, weren't they?
To be honest, because I haven't had sweets in about 3 days, Because I haven't had sweets in about 3 days, I can already tell the difference.
Oh, well, good.
So it was like, once it just tastes like sugar.
Did you put my damn gummies back there, nigga?
I did.
Oh, okay.
And I, zipped them back up. But doctors are trying to not make food fun for me anymore.
And that's one thing that I would like for a discussion to be had when it comes to food and making lifestyle choices of just what are some reasonable and actual replacements that you can make that are delicious. Because people kill me with like, oh, if you want, buffalo wings, use cauliflower. No, it's not a good supplement. It's not good.
I'm going to eat the buffalo wings. I'm just probably not going to deep fry them. But I'm going to eat the buffalo.
Yeah, I don't like cauliflower, so no.
Yeah, so kill that too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't ask me to eat something that ain't what it is, but you want to call it that. Like
carrot hot dogs or carrot bacon.
I'm already mad. The hell am I putting a carrot on a bun for?
I don't know. So wait, going back to yesterday, did Miss Galdamez ever tell you what happened at Caesar's Palace?
She did. So also she was telling me that she was having problems. She was trying to type the story. I guess it was too long because it kept booting her out.
Damn.
But I'm trying to convince her before I tell the story. I'm trying to convince her to get on and do it herself because it actually is hilarious. She told me. She told me before we left work today. So.
I just need one thing. I need to know: is her picture up in security?
She definitely can't go back.
Are you serious?
Definitely can't back, and she should be lucky that she wasn't put in jail.
What?
And what's hilarious is you got to see her. Like, so when this person is telling the story, she is like this big. You know what I'm saying? Like a little person. She's short. You know
Smaller
what I'm
than Tatiana?
saying? No, about
Okay.
a little bit taller than Tatiana. Sorry, Tatiana, if you watch this.
She knows. You're little.
Yeah, she's.
Oh.
But yeah, no, she's not that short, but she's close. And so it's like, what did you do to get put out? Once she told me the story, I was like, oh.
You can't go back.
She's like, yeah, I'm lucky I wasn't put in jail.
Like, you never can go back. There's no chance.
No, I don't think it should be any chance of her going back. No. Unless she goes underneath her married name and maybe she'll get away. But if she goes underneath her maiden name, nah, she's probably banned. Like when she say banned, I can understand why.
Sheesh. We have people in the comments.
Oh, she got to tell the story though. If she tells the story, it is hilarious.
I would like to hear that. Hey, Bean. Hey, Cut. Happy to see y'all. Oh, feeling good, feeling great. Yeah. I know that's right. Tell us why God is good. Let us know.
You know, I thought about the little clip that, okay, I'll tell y'all what happened in Vegas.
Are you really going to tell?
I'll tell. Phase. Well, you showed it in Vegas. So
and your ass.
she got dared to attempt to go get a room key, a key in Vegas. Now, your room key, like you told me, or like people know, your room key in Vegas, you can charge everything to the room.
Yeah.
So her friend dared her to go out there and try to get a room key so that they could charge things to the room.
What?
So she went up there and she gave a general last name, Johnson. It just so happened that it was the girl who worked there, her like first couple days working there.
Oh no.
Didn't really go through the I's and the T's. Gave her a card of somebody who matched the name that she had given. And she said that they wowed out.
What?
Buying drinks and all. She said, but the more we wowed out, the wilder I got. She was like, I was like Chris Tucker on Rush Hour when he was rolling the dice, damn near standing on the damn. And she said they grabbed her up and then she tried to slide in the bathroom to go home, like to get away, like, and they was right there, like, nah, you coming with us.
Yo.
She tells the story so much better. Maybe we can get her to tell the story.
Yeah, because she's insane.
Yeah, so basically it was fraud. And then you charged all that shit to people's rooms.
Right.
But the hilarious part is she was like, we was in the pool. We was in the casino.
Yeah. So wait, they weren't even staying at Caesar's Palace?
No.
Yo.
No. She was like, and we charged everything up on them people. So you imagine you come back from wherever you're at, and now you got this exuberant bill because somebody had used your name and went to work. So food, everything.
That actually happened to me in Mexico. It wasn't crazy, but someone had charged stuff to my room, and the only thing that saved me was the fact that the signatures didn't match.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
This recent time in Mexico?
No, it was like probably like 2 years ago. Yeah, because they asked you your room number, and if you're standing there, you can hear the person say their room number. Yeah. So if I'm in front of you and they say, "What's your room number?" and I say 5220, you can go to whatever restaurant next, and they say, "What's your room number?" 5220. But then now they started asking you what your last name is and all that.
Don't tell me that. Like 3168. Sir, that's not where you're staying. That is the utility closet. Oh.
But you're like the nigga be right behind you. Fuck. What? That is crazy. Miss
Ain't nothing worse than that first sip and it burns you. Ain't nothing worse than that. You got to play it off because now you're on a live stream. That first sip hit. You see how I sat it down?
Was it the tip or the back of the tongue?
Tip.
Ooh.
Because you gotta try to gauge it. You see, I sat it down and turned my head like, you on a damn live stream. You can't even play that off.
Everything tastes burnt.
I'm missing sugar so much, y'all. Look how much damn
I was gonna
Splenda
say that's crazy.
I put in there because I'm missing sugar. Sugar is crack. And you know what? We need to do something. We probably should do something about this because kids, this is years of this shit. But our mother was addicted. You want to know something that's funny about our
What?
mother? Let's talk about not an addict. She was addicted to sugar,
Yeah.
not drugs, sugar, which is a drug actually.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you know.
So she was a personal trainer, right? And exercise all the time. But if you go to her house, look in the back part of the cabinets, bags of candy.
And in her nightstand.
And in her nightstand. Bags. I ain't talking about little itty bitty bags. I'm talking about bags of candy. We used to call her a fraud. You're a fraud.
Facts. And talking about in the middle of the night, you want some Twizzlers? Girls, 3 a.m. Go to bed. What? Ain't nobody eating that shit.
Say that again.
Ain't nobody eating that shit.
Fast forward to my house. Nom, 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 nom. Because I have the sugar addiction. Should have seen me last night, man. It was crazy. Like I had to put myself to bed. I'm in the cabinet, like I know we gotta have a cookie somewhere, baby.
And you don't like granola and
All right, man.
yogurt.
What else we got to talk about? Here we go with this shit again. But you know what? I will eat yogurt.
Yeah.
I will eat yogurt. It's the consequence of eating yogurt.
That's
I'm
right.
lactose intolerant.
Yeah. We gotta get you
So-
some of the oat kind.
None of it. It don't. I guess whatever creamy just don't work for me.
That's terrible.
I promise you. But I will
Granola?
eat it though, huh?
Granola?
Yeah, I eat granola, but you know,
It still don't hit.
granola feels like I'm on a hike. Hey, this shit, why am I eating this shit?
On a hike.
Yeah, like I feel like I need to have on boots with
Oakley's
thermal
and
socks.
shit.
Yeah, like what the hell? in a Jan Sport book bag. Like I don't want that shit. And so I gotta wean myself off of it. So we're talking to what today? A nutritionist.
Mhm.
Maybe she can help my fat ass because I gotta figure it out because I can't keep eating it, right?
Yeah.
And so then, but now I'm like, you know, I'm in the evil stage of detox. Don't talk to me.
Yeah. Because sugar is real, my nigga.
And that nigga put a whole
18
box of Splenda in this tea. Like, give me something, baby. Terrible. That's why I burnt my tongue.
Nigga was eager. He's-
That's a good one. That's a good one. But it's really funny. I get. I'll get you back.
That's
Nigga attack the cup hard as hell, dude.
because that shit's the worst. Everybody has been there when you like, yo, I can't wait. Before your mouth is on fire.
I wish we had like the ability to instant replay it because I really dropped the cup and turned my head like, God,
Fast as hell.
I couldn't say nothing, but damn. We're not gonna do this again. Sugar
Yes.
nutritionist. Oh
Yeah, you
yeah.
gotta shout him out.
I don't have his picture.
Oh, not the picture, but you know, we have the information.
It's so we have a cousin who has a podcast, right? Because you know, people talk about not supporting, and you know, I've consistently gone on rants about why don't people support and you work hard for things. So what we're gonna start doing is we're gonna make a segment called I Got You. I got it's starting a podcast.
Mhm.
And did he give us what it was specifically about? I asked for the specifics, but I don't think he gave the specifics.
Well, he just said that, you know, attention was short and episodes come out every Friday at 5:30. It's streaming pretty much everywhere. He said, but I am starting a subscription on Apple Podcasts for exclusive content and early streaming privileges.
Okay, I'm trying to get to it.
Hold on.
Hold on. I'm gonna get you. We're gonna get you right now. Okay, yeah. So just to reiterate what Kim said, episodes come out every Friday at 5:30 p.m. It's streaming everywhere and starting the podcast subscription on Apple.
Mhm.
The best way to get to the podcast is the link tree on his page. His name is Marquise King, and the podcast is called King's Corner. So please make sure, if you get the opportunity to check it out, it's on Amazon for sure, Spotify, iHeart, all the stuff that you guys listen to. But go check them out. And here's the other part about his podcast. If you go check it out, it's not long. One of the things that I did, tell him I think was pretty cool is he keeps it to 8 minutes. You got 8 minutes. You can listen for 8 minutes because y'all listen to trap music for longer than that, and trap music is terrible. So you got 8 minutes to listen to. What? And
how to spell his name is Markeese. So Markeese King.
King's Corner. So make sure you check it out. And if you got something that you want us to get you on, where I got you, I will support. Are we using info at TDS Radio?
Okay, we need to. We're paying for it.
Info at tdsradio.com. Hit us up with any of the things that you might want. If you got a small business, any of that stuff, and you just want us to give you a quick shout out in the beginning of the show, please hit us up. We don't mind sharing our platform for things like that because that's what we created it for.
The only caveat is that you have to be following us.
Yeah, there's got to be some rules. Now, hold on. Let's get to that. Now, don't ask me to support you and you ain't supporting me because that's crazy.
Insane.
So if you are following us, and don't just follow us on Facebook, you need to be following us on Facebook and at least Instagram. And pretty soon we're going to make sure you got that damn app downloaded, because if you ain't got the app downloaded, then you can definitely forget about it because we worked hard for that app. I also got asked to bring back the Quiet Storm. What do you guys think? Should I bring that back?
Nigga, yes. Yes.
Oh.
We gotta start utilizing the shit we paying for. The fuck? Yeah.
Leave here and go home. Hey, how you doing? This is Coach Kim Block. We just heard you. Get somebody else on the damn air.
Soda butterbump biscuits.
This is your man Ken Block. Change the name. Your man Ken Block. It's the same dude.
Yeah. It's like that's still abolitionist blocker.
This on
that fucking clip tickles me every time.
I'm Deacon Blocker. Deacon Blocker. No hat, no haircut. Deacon Blocker. Look like I'm about to give a great word today. And sipping tea too. Birthdays.
Yeah. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Hold on. Let me see.
None?
Nah, that's never true for me. I always got somebody. Yep, there they go. All right, I got quite a few birthdays today.
Oh, yeah.
So, a lot of them is the same person because he got multiple accounts. It's our cousin Mike.
Oh, yeah. What the hell is that?
Oh, Auntie V says she volunteers her Quiet Storm voice. Sure, we can use a few drops from the ladies. Our cousin Mike, happy birthday! Mike is celebrating his 66th birthday. Leon Clark, Rico Martello, Michael Yuga, Sierra Tompkins, Akee Benton. Happy birthday, everybody.
These all sound like fake people.
No, Mike is our cousin. Leon, I know him. Rico Martello is the photographer back home in Pittsburgh. He's the light-skinned brother that got the beard. That's at all the events. Okay. Mike Fuga is one of my boys, and also a principal of JF Webb School.
Oh.
Sierra Tompkins is the lady that I don't know if you remember her back in the day, but she got on our podcast. She's from Pittsburgh, and then she has a podcast. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh,
Sierra.
Happy birthday to you, girl.
And then Akee Benton is a coach.
Yeah.
They're all real people.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, everybody. And guess what? You guys will get, I was going to say Abby.
What?
You guys will get Obi. I got my sugar. I'm high now, baby. And fake sugar at that, which is just as bad.
Crazy.
Let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah, please scroll up. Thank you.
Y'all ready? Happy birthday to you.
As the saying goes, continue to live your life in a way that makes every day worth celebrating. From the Sibs.
Yeah.
Well, where we going to? You said no entertainment news. So we got Kim has 2 stories for That's Fucked Up.
Yeah. So let's start with the first one. Now, this is coming out of, I believe, New Jersey. Yes. A young guy by the name Giovanni Imperelizzi, if that's how you say it. His name's all over the place, but it's Giovanni. He became a person of interest on October 30th of 2023. Now, the New Jersey State Police have been tipped off about a shared clip on Telegram. Per People, the janitor posted videos of himself performing sexual acts on objects in the school, as well as he shared clips of cleaning his private parts with slices of bread and putting them back in the container. Kitchen utensils also were not spared. So, says in another clip, the suspect sprayed bleach into a cucumber container and has been an Upper Deerfield Township Board of Education employee since 2019. This action caused parents to flinch as it depicts that their children's lives have been essentially endangered. However, NewJersey.com reported that the health officials have tested the suspect to determine if he was infected with any sort of STDs or diseases, and every food item has been reportedly discarded. Ultimately, they cleared him of any disease, which is a good thing, but it's still disgusting. While stating that the children were at no risk of contracting any disease. Consequently, after a thorough investigation and admission to the crimes, on the 31st, the police led him off in handcuffs following his arrest. The school janitor was slammed with several charges that included aggravated assault, tampering with food products, and endangering the welfare of children. He was also charged with second-degree official misconduct and 1 count of possession of and 1 count of distribution of child sexual abuse material. Yesterday, the 27-year-old was slapped with a guilty plea for second-degree misconduct. Additionally, he has accepted a guilty plea to third-degree possession of child sexual abuse material. He is scheduled for sentencing in March. This urinating and defecating, as well as his semen, was spread all over the children's utensils and even the cafeteria food. Crazy. What the fuck is going on?
So the kids had ball bread.
More than that. Pee, feces, semen. Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Why are you
Bleach.
doing this? Why? Why are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying when I tell you, like, the kids be so innocent. So kids walking in, getting breakfast first thing in the morning, and they don't know that this dude done wiped his balls for the past however many years he's worked there on the bread.
Among other things.
You got comments? Because I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is? Come on, man. Like,
yeah,
this is terrible. Like, why would you do that to these kids? Why would you do it to anyone?
Right.
But why would you specifically do it to the kids?
Exactly.
That's no. So then there's a similar story of so I have. That was your first one, right?
Yes.
Okay, I have one. We'll bounce back and forth. I have a that's effed up story. So, the University of New Hampshire, Young black girl was explaining that she had started to get sick. She felt uncomfortable with her roommate, and she just didn't know like why she was falling sick and had throat problems and issues and respiratory issues, and she wasn't sure why. So she had problems with the roommate. The roommate is white, and she is black, and she is Jamaican, and so she ended up somehow luckily getting her room moved from there, only for someone to find a post where she said, "I finally have Jamaican Barbie out of my room. I have taken her toothbrush and put it in places only God knows. I have spit in her coconut oil," and amongst other things. And one of the places that she had put
Your microphone.
one of the places that she had put the toothbrush was in her butt and in the toilet. Hence why the girl.
So
that's effed up.
now, Miss Ma'am, I do gotta ask you a question. When you brush your teeth, you ain't smell that?
Crazy word.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I don't understand why you would do that to another human being.
Right.
That's a different level of hate. Then you bragged about it and got caught, and she also got arrested for that.
As she should.
Right.
And Jamaican Barbie, as you call her, should beat your ass immediately.
Jamaican Barbie looked like a nerd. Like, so it was like she was
Aw.
kind of being bullied because when she was telling the story, she was like, "I don't even know why this is happening to me because you're black." Simple. What are you talking about?
That's terrible.
So imagine that being your first experience as a freshman in college.
Well, my roommate had lice. Shall we go back and forth? Pow, pow, pow.
That's terrible.
My roommate was disgusting. I was a freshman at Mansfield University. That's my alma mater and where I am officially in debt at. And this was my first time being on college dorm, so it was new to me because I've never shared a room. So I met my roommate, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, we can do this, I guess." But my mom, brother, everybody had me all, set up, ready to go. I had my little, fridge, and my stuff was clean. But I'm noticing,
And it was a hell of a move in. Nothing was close. Nothing.
Just for them to completely redo all of the dorms. It's absolutely gorgeous now. But as I am living with her, I'm noticing her habits. Like, number one, she's extremely messy on her side because I had to check her. Don't bring that shit over here. Then she's not bathing, and then she would just get up and go to class and just be a full-on mess. Then one time, she thought it was okay to bring her sloppy-looking boyfriend into our room, and I had to tell her, "Yeah, we're not doing that. Take you and him and go anywhere else, but not in here. Like, the hell are we doing?"
Higher learning were you going through? Who leaves their toothbrush out around strangers?
That too. So then one day I'm in my biology course, and my phone is ringing, and I mean, like, she is blowing it up. So then I finally decide to answer. I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" I can't remember what the girl's name was, because it was literally like the first semester. And I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" And she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, what are you sorry about? Like, what's going on? She was like, "I'm just so embarrassed. Oh my god, I found out I have lice." The way I fucking hummed that phone up, I went directly to my room, didn't go to any of my classes, directly to my room, packed all my shit up, went straight to our GA and told her, I said, "You have about an hour or so to find me new housing." I said, "Because this bitch got lice and she slept in our room. She left everything in there. I don't know what has been touched with any of her shit." I said, "I'm not used to dealing with this bullshit. Fix it." And she was like, "Oh my god, we're gonna fix her shit, and I'm gonna set it on fire in the back of our dorm." She was like, "You cannot do that." I'll fucking do it. She has lice. I've never dealt with this shit before. Figure it out. And that's how I ended up with a one-person bedroom.
It's crazy work.
Isn't it insane? I moved everything by myself. That mini fridge, all my clothes, everything. I moved everything by myself. My friend was like, damn, how mad were you, bitch? I was steaming lice. Then had to go to the nurse on campus, and she's like, well, typically, with your hair type.
Black people don't get lice.
Exactly.
Which is a lie.
Exactly. I'm like, okay.
Lice
so now,
can live, it eats off the scalp. So anything, if it can get to your scalp, it may not stay long, but
and now I'm dealing with microaggression.
It'll lay eggs. Here's my funny man story. You guys want to know one? As we're helping Kimberly move all these things, somehow, I'm taking a break because it seems like every time we move, I'm the only male there, right? Like when we moved to Connecticut, the only one there, drove the whole way, slept on the floor, all that good stuff, all that big brother things. Well, we're moving our stuff. I keep hearing, I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, do you hear that? And my mom's in the front of the van because, all she does is orchestrate the shit. Move, boy, now. And she says, I think it's coming from her book bag. Hand me her book bag. It was a personal toy. And my mom, being the person that she is, goes, oh, and it's a nice one.
Ooh,
I don't want to
tell my business.
I was like, I don't want to hear that.
Why would you tell my business?
It was college.
So
I said, what are we doing? She was like, so I thought I got secondhand embarrassment. Like, what are you doing? She was like, oh, and it's a nice one. Look.
Y'all see how he just told my business?
Hilarious.
Why would you?
As a brother, you're not supposed to hear that. I was like, what is it? Because it kept bothering me. I'm like, what is this? And if that wasn't it, because if she would have just like, oh, and then zipped it back up, not our mom. Look, what do you want me to do with this information? She was like,
move on. It was.
She said it was a nice one. I don't know. I didn't look. I was like, I don't want to see that. She was like, well, whatever, and zipped it back. Hilarious.
It was. If Kia was here, which we'll figure out what's going on there, she would have approved.
Really?
Okay. See how you just told my business? Isn't that crazy? Like, what? You guys would have never got that story out of me. Never.
I got something that I'm sure you know about.
I don't know.
Oh my God. You remember that? It was in East Hills. I won't say the person's name because they're married now. You don't want to do that.
You weren't. We were kids. Microphone.
It was one of my early girlfriends. Caught by her.
Why are you whispering like she's in the room?
Right? Like,
nigga,
like she's there. Yeah, caught. The first person to catch me was Diggy.
Oh, he always
giggled.
snitching.
And then it was like not even like 2.5 minutes later, her mom was at the door and he's giggling and she's like, why are you coming from upstairs? I'm like, I don't know why she's coming from upstairs. Like her mom came to pick her up.
Wait, where was mom?
Work.
Oh.
That's why I was pulling this off. Nobody was expecting the giggler, aka Diggy, to come home. And he's there. And I'm
Where
like,
was I?
Great. Maybe in the room next door. Who knows? You didn't come out. So I could get away with murder because it wasn't like you were looking at anything.
Long as I
She
had
used
my
to
room.
write letters to me and people when she didn't want us to come around,
Yes.
and then put them on the door. Like,
Stay the fuck out my shit. Because y'all would drive
she's
me crazy.
all of 7, 8 years old. She would write letters, put it on the door, shut the door.
They would drive me crazy. All I wanted to do was be in my room with my rabbit by myself, and they would come in and fuck with me. And I'm like, you know what? Let me write this damn letter, and I'm going to put it on my door, and you are not allowed There's no jurisdiction in here.
So you may have been in your room with the door shut. Yeah. We spent a lot of time together. A lot of summers in that project crib together.
Then we got our pool. You couldn't tell us shit.
I don't know why we've been going down memory lane, because I guess there's nothing to talk about because the fires are taking over everything and it's really sad.
And
so
people
we'll
are tired of Drake because he just pulled some bitch shit.
Drake suing everybody again.
But no, he literally is trying to sue just because he felt like the song Not Like Us is damaging to his character.
Yeah.
But what about your music?
Well,
what about what you did?
Well, that shows that when we talk about allowing people in the culture, that just shows that sometimes Drake is a culture vulture. So everything Kendrick actually said about you is true. Because you make money off of this art form. You disrespect women in your music on a consistent basis.
And it has been documented that you talk to little girls.
But you, because of the fame Kendrick got from this, now you feel slighted. And now you're suing because you feel like Not Like Us defames your character. Well, rap music is what battle rap, especially when you cross up, and you know who it ultimately makes look like they were right? J. Cole. Like, I don't have time for this.
Right.
Because imagine being sued because of battle rap. Crazy.
And that's what a spokesperson from UMG is saying. Essentially what they said were the claims are untrue and illogical because he's also accusing them of payola, pushing the record to defame his character. They said they're emphasizing the company's effort to support the artist in achieving historic success. They did not do that. They said they also accused Drake of participating in conventionally outrageous rap battles and alleged that he's now attempting to misuse the legal system.
Drake's career is over. You can't come back from this.
Yeah, because that was some bitch shit.
You can't come back from it. You cannot come back from this. And those who support Drake now with this nonsense, you just like controversy and you just want to be right. But we're talking about the rap game, hip hop, battle rap, stuff like that. And now you suing because of defamation of character. Ooh. So what if Biggie would have sued Tupac because he slept with Faith and you found out on the song?
Well, there's a whole list of rappers where if they wanted to be petty, they could have done this. But the whole fact of it, like you said, this is culture, Black culture, rap culture. And if you're going to play the part, then you need to play the part and just shut up and roll with it.
Can't.
But
he's from Canada. His feelings are hurt.
Well, don't open your fucking mouth.
Canada.
You can't throw stones and then hide your hand. Like, no, you did this. You sat there and thought that your little songs was going to hit. You thought everybody was going to be behind you. And then now look at you, because Not Like Us took off.
And it still does.
Yeah, it does. Because a young girl from, what is it? Tuskegee University. She just did her gymnastic floor routine with that song and went viral.
So you got to know how to take your L's, and clearly he's not used to that. So you just.
And who is in your circle? Because somebody should have told you, if you don't sit the hell down, like this is where you're that guy, and you go and you run and do this, and act like you know.
Terrible work.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the biggest thing.
So what was your next effed up story?
About a woman who decided to assault an 83-year-old woman because she wanted a Christmas bonus. So this is coming out of Florida.
She her caretaker?
Yeah. I knew it. I knew it. I knew you would be on her fucking side. I knew it. Anyway, this woman has been arrested and charged.
Let me hear the story.
It's not going to change anything. She has been charged with multiple felonies, including aggravated battery, robbery, forgery, fraud, and passing.
Well, now see, forgery and fraud. So she tried to write her own check.
Listen, passing a counterfeit instrument in grand theft following an alleged altercation with her 83-year-old employer. Now, this happened on Christmas Eve, where Heather Nelson, 29 years old, reportedly assaulted the elderly woman after being denied a request for a $500 Christmas bonus. According to the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, Nelson demanded a $500 bonus for her cleaning services. When the elderly woman explained she couldn't afford the bonus, Nelson allegedly responded by forcibly taking the victim's checkbook, nearly breaking her wrist in the process. She then wrote a check for $1,400 to herself and used the victim's credit card for personal expenses. The sheriff said, to take advantage of our elderly seniors is not what you do. She was arrested on the 7th and is currently being held on a $30,000 bond. She's facing charges of, like I said, robbery, aggravated battery on a person over the age of 65, grand theft, forgery, uttering a forged instrument, and criminal use of personal identification and fraudulent use of a credit card. Sheesh. No. She's 83.
Hear me out. If she don't have it, she don't have it.
Right.
But somebody got it. I'm in here cleaning your ass, and wiping your ass, and cleaning you from head to toe. And when we talking about asking for a large amount, I thought it was gonna be,
like 5,000.
Yeah, well, at least 1,000, 1,500 up. She asked for $500. I ain't got that. Well, somebody got it. I ain't got that. Word. Give me that goddamn checkbook. Somebody got it.
She is 83 years old.
I get it. I'm not agreeing. I'm just looking from both sides of the lens.
Nigga.
This happened when?
This happened on Christmas Eve.
I bet you that 29-year-old girl got some, I need my money. And you talking about you ain't got it, but I'm in here making sure you straight. Somebody better come up with that money. That's how people think.
But you almost broke this woman's wrist.
She's 83. That didn't take much. If you snatch it hard enough, pow, you know what I'm saying? So, might have been exaggerated a little bit. Like, I thought you said like she punched her or something like that. That's different. No. You snatch anything off somebody 83 years old, it's going to hurt. But give up the money. Coming here like Gator. Give up the money. You got it. That lady wouldn't have asked if she didn't think you had it. You guess you got it. You just don't want to give it.
Girl.
But I'm in here cleaning your ass and all that other stuff. And now
better go look. I mean, if you cleaning and you came across some things, I'd be like, she ain't gonna miss this.
See, she at least asked. You robbing her. See,
she ain't gonna miss it. Like,
nah,
what?
I don't agree with harming it, elderly and children. So I am joking, kind of, because, but I do believe that people who are caretakers, especially around the holidays, when you are taking time away from your family to care for somebody else's family, you should give them a little something. You should get a little extra.
And even if it didn't come from the 83-year-old, whoever
the
her
agency.
family, or whoever, the agency they're going. Let me tell you. So, our friend of the show, Kia, she works for a company where she essentially goes out and she helps, children with special needs, right? Her agency thought it was a great idea to give people for Christmas a $1 scratch off and a card. What?
I would have just put it back in whatever they sent it back.
Exactly.
I'm cool.
A $1 scratch off. That's all I'm worth to you.
Even though I have a friend who won $35,000 for the rest of his life, a year off of a $2 scratching ticket.
So that actually is like a real thing.
Won it. He called me today. Won it.
What?
Yep. He was like, "Block, I hit." I said, "You hit for what?" He said, "I think it's like where you say like $1,000 for a week, $1,000 a week for the rest of your life." But he takes a lump sum of 35 $35,000 a year. Like after taxes, he just gets $35,000 a year
Oh, okay. For the rest of his life.
the rest of his life,
On top of his salary.
on top of what he does at his job. Yeah,
What?
you know him. You remember him, Dave Hillman. He was a tall, slinky guy. He would come over to the crib sometimes.
Yeah.
Dave, Dave was one of the smartest people I ever met. He said, "Damn college." He went to go work for the airlines, and now Dave is somebody important on top of getting the $35,000 a
Good
year
for him. Good for
for the
him.
rest of his life. And that passes. I think he said it passes down. Like he can pass it down if something happens to him.
That's really dope. Well, that wasn't her story.
$2 scratch off ticket, man. He got that when he was what, 19.
That is insane.
Dope. You just see his car collection in his house because all that money he saves it
Mm-hmm.
because he works.
Right.
So all that money he said he just puts it in an account and helps helped his mom. Him and his mom helped his mom, bought a house. Got some dope cars. He got I think a couple. Last time I seen, and then he flies everywhere he wants to go because he works
Right,
for
he
the
works for the
airline,
airline.
so he don't pay to fly.
That
How
is
dope is that?
incredibly smart way to live.
He won. Like,
Literally.
he won.
She did not. So
Oh,
well, a $1 scratch off for the holidays.
That
That's
sucks.
your, and then I think she said there's only 4 people, like it's less than 20 employees that work there. So y'all spent $20 on us collectively. I would have rather you given me a goddamn pizza party.
That's why people get stuff snatched up off of
But
them.
not by an 83-year-old woman.
Give me the money. I don't agree with it. Just looking from both sides of the lens. I can see both sides here. I can see her frustration, and I can also see I'm 83 years old. I'm on a fixed income.
Right.
Like fixed my ass. Somebody gonna give me this money.
I'll be like, well, Miss Janice, you got something? No, baby, I ain't got it. Okay. Then go to work in that damn house.
He used to work for American Airlines. I don't know if he still does or not, but I can check with him though. We're still friends on Facebook.
Like,
Man, Dave.
hey, Dave. I'm on American Airlines all the time. Help your good sis. Hey now.
Okay, what else we got?
That's pretty
Do we
much
have
it.
entertainment news at all?
No, that was
What?
Drake was pretty much it. And then we have our messy letter.
Drake is terrible.
Yeah.
What time is Dr. Dance?
Before your show. Your show starts at 7.
Oh, okay.
I got the messy letter.
All right, let's go.
Thank you.
I was looking for Dave.
We can do that later.
I think Dave's single.
Messy letter. This what the hell, man. All right. This one says, I started seeing a man a few months ago. We were both separated from our spouses. I really like this guy. His actions tell me he's into me as well. However, he has said a few things that have left me in tears from time to time. I'm really struggling with this. He has asked me to travel with him to his parents' vacation home and spend a week. He is staying for 2 weeks. He is getting this place ready to sell. I'm sure he will have a great time. Explanation mark.
Hey, read that again.
Huh?
Read that again.
He asked me to travel with him to his parents' vacation home and spend a week. He's spending 2 weeks there. He is getting the place ready to sell, and I'm sure we will have a great time.
So this is not a vacation. He's there to get the place ready for 2 weeks.
Yeah, to essentially sell. Yeah.
And then he asked
But
her
this
to
is
come
their
out
vacation
for a week.
home.
But it's a vacation home.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, so he's
Now
kind of
I'm
like
with you.
fixing it up. Mhm.
Okay.
After the week, I will be flying home. Now, he has a female friend meeting him there to spend the second week with him. He says that they are just friends and nothing sexual has ever happened between them. He said they have cuddled in the past and they might again while she is there. He said he would never lie to me and he just wants to be upfront about everything. So that's why he told me. I'm struggling with this. I did tell him at one point that if he does snuggle with her, that I will be done with our relationship. To me, snuggling is a very sensual act and should only be done with your partner. Maybe I'm overthinking all of this. How would you all handle it?
What are they? What are they? What is their relationship?
She said that she's seeing him, so I guess they're just dating.
And he told her that he snuggles randomly with somebody.
Yes.
So what do you mean you snuggle with someone? What does that mean?
Well, he's bringing whoever this other woman is. The woman that she's like, oh, I feel like things are going really well. And then the second week, he's like, yeah, I'm bringing somebody else who's going to spend time with me. And, we've snuggled in the past and it's probably going to happen again. But I want to be upfront with you that we plan on snuggling.
And then, but we're not together.
From what she's saying, they're not. She said, I started seeing a man a few months ago. So they're just dating.
Okay, well, now we got a couple.
And she said,
ways.
she also said, we're both separated from our spouses. So technically, they're still married.
How do we want to go with this letter? Do we want to be professional or do we want to be not professional? I don't have my hat to turn my hat the different ways for the different responses.
Just
okay.
Yeah.
It's commendable. He told you what's up. You got a choice. Deal with it. Either go or no.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, how do you feel about this person? 2, why are you so invested that this makes a difference one way or another?
His actions tell me he's into me as well. And then that's when she said, however, he has said a few things that have left me in tears from time to time, and I'm struggling with it.
Things that have left me in tears, and this being one of them?
Yes.
He just wants the buns. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, pretty much, sis. Wait, so they are in a relationship or not? And how the heck does he have time to snuggle when he's supposed to be fixing up the property?
Because you don't work 24 hours a day.
He said, I got buns and fixing. Mm-hmm.
Nah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so to me, in this situation, what she is experiencing is exactly what people say they want but can't handle. I'm 100% transparent with you.
Mm-hmm.
This is the stakes of the game. This is what I'm doing. You either have a choice of can you handle it or not. So then all that talk of just be honest with me, just be straight up with me. Well, you got that.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
What do you choose?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So don't be in your feelings now. He told you.
Pretty much.
So for me, I think it was commendable that he told you because he didn't have to. And now you got a choice.
Yeah.
You either want to deal with a dude who wants to snuggle with somebody else, because I don't understand that.
Yeah. Just say y'all sleep together. That's it. Come on. He just doesn't want to hurt your feelings because he knows.
Man just randomly snuggling.
Yeah, no.
What?
Come on. Let's be real.
What in the name of Shannon Sharp, oh my Michelle, is this? What are we talking about?
Exactly.
Ain't no man randomly snuggling.
And the relationship is messy as is because both of you are still married. You're just separated. Now you're emotionally invested. He is not because he just wants to be able to date and enjoy buns at free will. And you are trying to make something more than what there actually is. So.
I agree. It's called communication. Just ask for what you want and tell them what you want. And then if it don't match, then you got to step on. It's only been a few months that they've been dating.
Mm-hmm.
This is easy peasy. Don't make yourself compromise anything that you really don't want to do. So if you don't want to do it, don't compromise.
Right.
If you like them and you're like, well, I'm still doing my thing too, then you can't also try to micromanage his behavior because then you're also doing your own thing as well.
But I don't think she is. That's why she's so invested.
Well, then you probably should.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we wouldn't be so proud. But then everybody needs to be checked for diseases.
Yeah.
Because what are
crazy.
we doing again? Here we go again. Did you see Redman? What Redman has done?
Oh, he's celibate.
He is celibate for the past 2.5 years, and he doesn't even smoke anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I'm saying people should be celibate. I'm just saying people should just be careful. Getting out of a marriage, now you're stepping yourself back out into the game, and you immediately meet a person who's like, well, I like to snuggle, and what do you want to do? wow, that could be a lot, especially if you have been monogamous in a relationship for over a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
That goes from being on a 1-lane highway to now you're in a 6-lane highway because somebody's in just, hey, this is what I do, take it or leave it. And you're like, whoa, you're used to that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that one-on-one relationship. You might not have that type of guy. And if you don't have that type of guy and that's what you're looking for, then you should probably take the time to search for that type of person who doesn't mind monogamy, because this is not what you have. And you also need to trust your instincts and trust your gut that this doesn't seem right. So then make sure you know that your instincts is right. This is not right. Like,
Right.
if you're interested in me, then why are you talking about snuggling with somebody else? It's crazy. Like, you know, and then be honest. Men don't randomly snuggle.
No, they don't.
There's not one man who randomly snuggles. Now, you may, two parts. Men like to snuggle, but we're not asking for snuggle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like let's snuggle. Right? Well, you know, snuggle most of the time is imposed on a guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're chilling, the next thing you know, snuggle. But it's not like, okay, I'm done working, I'm going to take a shower and we're going to snuggle. And you went with that, you're not ready to be out here in this dating game.
No, you seem very naive, my love.
You're not ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. You were in a marriage. So things are different now out here. You're used to that monogamous relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and you jump out here in these crazy streets. Be careful. So, and then take some time for you, because if you're going from one place to another spot, then, you know, what are we talking about? Yeah, we don't randomly snuggle.
Yeah, no,
I don't
that's
know
not
no
happening.
dude that randomly snuggles.
Yeah.
I just don't. And it's not that, you know, a guy would tell, like, you know what I really like to do, bro? I like to snuggle. Like, nobody would say that, but
You can read between the lines, sis.
between the lines?
Between the lines.
Because you can read between the lines.
You can read between the
Where
lines.
did our guests go?
What do you mean?
There was 2 people.
No, she's right there.
Oh, okay.
And Dr. Janze is right there.
Oh, all right. So we ready to rock?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then
Let's switch gears.
let's switch gears. We have Dr. Janze here, and we also have a guest. So give us 1 second, and we will be back with you. Don't go nowhere.
Hey, Dr. Chia. Right. Look, stop all that.
What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man, Coach Block. And I am here with
Your girl So Fab. Hey, y'all. And we officially have
Dr. Janze. Hey.
it is Embodi Balance Wednesday. And as you guys know, we have Dr. Janze in the building, and we are going to talk about total health, wellness, weight loss, all of that. So this month, we are focusing on weight loss.
Yes.
And we're going to start talking about little components that we can do to just kind of fix ourselves, get ourselves together. Yep. It's a brand new year. It's time for us to really be serious about those resolutions and not focus so much on, I want to lose this amount, but I want to be and feel better.
Yep. You want to be healthy.
Yes, exactly.
So that's the goal for 2025. We're thriving.
Hello and good evening. So you have a guest.
Yes.
And I'll let you do the honor.
Yes, absolutely. So I am so excited. So part of my weight loss program, nutrition is very important. And so I am so happy to have Ashley here with us. She is a nutritionist. She's also a personal trainer. And she and I have talked about my weight loss program and things that I'm looking at and what I'm interested in doing. And so a big piece of weight loss is, of course, what we're eating. And so it's important to know and learn about nutrition. So I'm excited to welcome Ashley. She is going to join us. Hi, Ashley.
Hey,
and
everyone.
She's going to introduce herself and then talk to us a little bit about nutrition. Welcome.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited and a little nervous because
It's fun. It's fun.
But it's great to be on the podcast tonight. My name's Ashley Sponsky. I'm a registered dietitian. I'm a certified personal trainer and a lifestyle coach. And I own a private practice called Fueled and Fit. And I've owned that since 2019. So right before COVID hit, I actually opened up my doors.
Awesome.
So yeah, I love what I do. I love working with all kinds of clients with different goals and different needs, but primarily I work with a lot of weight loss clients or those who have a goal of losing weight or maintaining their weight loss.
That's amazing. And Ashley, first of all, don't be nervous. You will learn to realize that we're just family. So we are going to make this as conversational as possible and know that we're coming to you because you're the expert.
Right.
So you know this, and we're just wanting to ask questions to gain clarity, and then really just make sure that we're doing the right things when it comes to the foods that we're picking up. Because so many people think that, sugar-free or fat-free or, vegan options, that those are sometimes the best way to go, but not really learning like what is best for your body. So Dr. Janze, did you want to kick it off or you want us to kick it off?
Yeah. So what I would like to start with is just talking about, and I sent you some information as far as what a balanced diet looks like. So we can talk a little bit about that because I think people miss the big piece of being on a weight loss program. Eating is the big piece. Yes, we do have options to help with the weight loss, but the goal is you're eating properly so that long term you're able to maintain.
Yes, exactly. So the true key is balance. A lot of fad diets out there are very unbalanced. They're either too high in fat, too high in protein, too little carbs. So it's kind of simple. If you think about how you want to structure a balanced diet, you want to make sure that you're spreading out your three main macronutrients evenly on your plate. Or making sure that you're getting multiple food groups in per meal and snack. So we have three main macronutrients. Those are proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And we want to make sure that we are getting those, a bit of those in every single meal and snack that we consume. So for instance, if we were doing keto or Atkins or low carb or any of the various different detoxes and fad diets we can get into, they're not balanced in that. We're overdoing it in one macronutrient and missing out on a lot of what are called micronutrients, which are all the little small intricate nutrients that we need to keep our bodies healthy as well. So we risk becoming malnourished, or we risk becoming deficient in a certain micronutrient if we don't have these three balanced on our plate.
And it's good that you broke that down for us because Method Man, a lot of people were in awe of his transformation, in his latter 50s, and the fact that he got serious about his health, the fact that he's working out consistently, but he always kept telling people it's about the macros, the macros, the macros. And I don't think we really had a clear understanding of what that meant, because it's not something that we're taught. It's not something that's really discussed when you go in to, talk to a professional. So most people were kind of, I guess, they weren't quite clear on what that actually meant. So essentially, it's just making sure that you are eating that balanced diet of having the fats, having the carbs, and having the protein in each of your eating settings.
Yes, absolutely. And each macronutrient has different roles in the body. So it's important to get all three in. And I know certain nutrients, like carbohydrates, for instance, get a very bad reputation. But there are some very beneficial aspects of carbohydrates, and we don't want to, cut our carbohydrates too low. But we also don't want to overdo it either. Complications can happen either way.
Awesome. And again, I'm glad you did explain that, because even with me, so for me, yes, I'm a nurse practitioner, but I know my lane. I know my stuff. Nutrition you need a nutritionist in your life to really help you bring that balance, to help with that weight loss. So thank you for explaining that. So I myself have, on my several weight loss journeys, have focused a lot on portion control. Can you talk a little bit about that, why it's important, how, what that balance look like on a plate for someone who just may not quite understand?
Yeah, sure. So there are many benefits to portion control. I think it is super important to take into consideration when someone's trying to lose weight or maintain weight, because, think of all of the mindless munching that can happen when we're sitting down watching our favorite shows, or we go to the movies. Screen time can definitely attribute to a lot of our, overeating. But it's important to think about, because portion control can help us lose weight. It can help us balance our blood sugars, balance our hormone status. So there's many reasons why we would want to consider portion control. Usually what I think of, or the easiest concept to think of when it comes to portion control, is what's called the plate method. And the USDA actually came out with a new infographic or structure to kind of look at when it comes to balancing our plate. And it used to be the food guide pyramid back in like the 80s and the 90s. And that really wasn't applicable to, what we're putting on our plates on a daily basis. So the new plate method is basically breaking your plate into three parts. So we want half of our plate to be fruits and vegetables. So anything colorful, produce oriented. And then a quarter of our plate have protein, and a quarter of our plate have starch or carbohydrate on it. So, to give an example of that, that would be a quarter plate of baked chicken with a quarter plate of brown rice and half of a plate of a garden salad, or green beans and broccoli, something like that. It could be very simple, but having that structure is going to give us the portions we need, the macronutrients in the right amount, and we're not overdoing the calories.
And can you also explain about hormones? Because I think people forget, as you get older, hormones do play a part, and how you might need to change things in your diet based off of your hormones.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I could probably talk all day about it, and have a whole nother podcast episode on hormones. But as we age, our hormones do change, whether we're male or female. Our testosterone and estrogen levels will change. Our cortisol levels change dependent on how stressed out we might be, or the amount of sleep that we're receiving on a regular basis. So all of these things can fluctuate, and if we're not eating regularly throughout the day, these levels can become very imbalanced. So for instance, if we are fasting in the morning and we're only drinking coffee, which I know I can be guilty of doing from time to time. It's very common practice, and that will spike our cortisol in the morning. But if we have a protein-rich breakfast in the morning with our coffee, it will help stabilize our cortisol levels and stabilize our blood sugars, which lead to a healthier balance of hormones throughout the remainder of our day.
Interesting.
So I have a question. When I had the opportunity to work on a cardiac floor, and they used to always say heart healthy meals to those that have like stents, or they come in and they have blockage and they get everything fixed. And we'll eat a heart healthy meal. And a lot of people would just look at the doctor like, all right, whatever. what consists of a heart healthy meal? Or for somebody who does have, suffers from heart disease or something like that, and they don't know what to specifically eat, what does that look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you're absolutely right. When you go to the hospital and they give you a heart healthy diet, it could be very generalized. Like they don't really explain that. But there's two things I take into consideration with a heart healthy meal. The first is the quality of your fats. So we have several different types of fat in the diet. But we primarily have unsaturated fats and saturated fats. So a heart healthy meal would consist of more unsaturated fats. So think of olive oil, think of nuts and seeds, flaxseed, avocado oil, things of that nature, versus butter, cream cheese, gravies. Those are all your saturated fats that tend to essentially clog arteries over a long period of time. So the quality of fat is going to be the primary thing in a heart healthy diet. And the other thing to consider is your salt intake. So if you are consuming a lot of excess sodium in foods, that could constrict your blood vessels and affect your heart. So it's going to raise your blood pressure, essentially. So low sodium is what we're looking for as well.
And some of those too are on fluid restrictions too, so you just have to be cautious. So the sodium is definitely important because delicious. But in speaking of like fasting, so intermittent fasting is a pretty popular topic. I've tried it, didn't quite work well for me, but I've heard people that it worked very well for. What's your thoughts on intermittent fasting? Because or 3 meals, 6 small meals a day, your 3 regular meals, and then your snacks, healthy snacks. But then, the intermittent fasting that a lot of people are doing. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's very popular, very trendy. I get asked this question quite often. And I don't really have a stance, like a very strong stance one way or another, but I would say it's definitely more of a case by case basis. So for some, it might work great, and for others, it doesn't. But when you really break it down, intermittent fasting is just a way to restrict your calorie intake, right? So if you're only eating between the hours of 11 and 7 or 12 and 8, you're taking out a lot of time that you might be mindlessly munching. So I know most people are in front of a television at night, right? And if you're telling yourself you can't eat after 8 o'clock, then you're restricting a lot of those calories that you might be intaking otherwise. So in that sort of case, it would work. But you also want to make sure that you're getting enough calories within that window of time. So you don't want to fast necessarily throughout the whole day. You want to make sure you're getting enough calories within that 8-hour window. And so there's kind of a misconception.
One of the things that I think we all agreed, even when, Ms. Verna was here, is that dieting and healthy lifestyle, sometimes they can get stressful, because you're trying to make sure that you're eating enough, but then not eating too much, that you're making sure that your meals are balanced, that they're the proper sort of meals, that you're not, like you said, the, fats that are good fats and the bad fats, where you're just like, I can see why some people fall off the wagon. So what are some, words of encouragement or some suggestions that you can kind of help people when they're getting to the point where it's like, look, I'm stressed out. This is just way too much.
Yeah, I totally agree, because I think social media has definitely contributed to this diet culture as well, because there's just so much information out there, so much misinformation. And I think my biggest recommendation is to try and keep it as simple as possible. There's no need to overcomplicate things. There's no need to go too hard, too fast. Really create what's called SMART goals. SMART is measurable, attainable, realistic goals. So instead of saying I'm going to lose 100 pounds, say I'm going to lose 2 pounds a week for the next month and see how that goes. By breaking it down into much smaller goals, that's not to say you can't lose 100 pounds. That would, if you need to, and that's a goal, that's great. But, you overwhelm yourself by creating very lofty goals. And then my other suggestion is make sure you have experts in place to help you with, good information, quality information, research-based advice, not just fad diet culture advice. Talk to a dietitian, talk to a nurse practitioner, hire a personal trainer, have these people in place to guide you in the right direction versus getting overwhelmed with a lot of basically nonsense on social media.
And that's the thing I stress too with people, like start with small goals, because big goals can be overwhelming, and that's just not in diet, it's just anything in life. Start small and work towards that one goal. So for me, 10 pounds, let's work towards the 10 pounds first. And then, we reach that goal. Let's move to the next goal. And so also, we talk a lot, I hear a lot about the calorie deficit, especially people doing the injections. What are your thoughts about that? And the other question too, speaking of calories, how does one know how many calories to intake? Because, we might be thinking we're eating enough and we're eating way too much or not enough.
Right. Yeah. And that's a great question. And that's a loaded question. There's a lot to talk about there. I'll start with how many calories you need in a day. So that is going to vary per individual. I personally use a nutrition-based equation. I know some programs like MyFitnessPal use other equations that are, roughly in the same, space. But I have something on like a database I use with this equation that I calculate calorie needs for people. And that is based off of your gender, your weight, your height, your age, and your activity level. So these are all just basic numbers that I input into my database, and it gives me the lowest number, which is your resting metabolic rate. And that's the bare minimum number of calories that your body needs a day to function. So when it comes to a calorie deficit, we don't want to go under this number. And a lot of times people are. So that's damaging their metabolism. They're not fueling properly. They might be stagnant as far as their weight loss goes. They might be plateauing. So I always make sure that someone is eating above their metabolic needs. And then from there, we determine how active the person is. And then we come up with their maintenance calories, because exercise is going to play a role into, maintaining your weight. And if they want to lose weight, then we find what I call a sweet spot in between the metabolic rate and your maintenance calories. We want to, take a little bit of the edge off of your maintenance calories so that you can start to see a change over time with your weight status. And up to 2 pounds a week is usually what I recommend, and kind of toy around with those numbers to see what would work best for that person.
Awesome. So I have another question, and Ken and I were actually joking about it before we got on air. But substitutions, realistic substitutions, because sometimes people will say things like, oh, I know you're craving boneless wings. Well, go get that cauliflower. Okay, but I don't like cauliflower. So that's not a realistic substitution for me, and then you have people like, the two of us where we have a sugar addiction. Mine is more so like pastries, where he's kind of like more candy. But there are a lot of people out here who are addicted to sugar. Huh?
Tell him now. You telling my business.
All your business.
Now, didn't we just turn the table?
Because everyone has their different addictions, whereas like for me, candy is like, I can go without it, but a pastry or a cookie, that's where, I'm like, I'm giving in. So what are some realistic substitutions that people can have where they still feel satisfied, but they're not cheating?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And there's so many options out there now in the food industry that higher protein options, higher fiber options, lower sugar options. And you're right in the sense of, I personally don't recommend, like, if a person loves pastries and sweets and cookies, an apple is not going to do anything. And from a scientific basis, there are two different types of sugars. So cookies and candy have what's called glucose, which is the most simplest form of sugar, which is why it's so addicting. We eat it and it like rushes into our bloodstream and we get that high, right? That high blood sugar response. But fruit has fructose. That's fruit sugar. So it's not going to taste the same. It's not going to feel the same. It's not going to digest the same. So it's just simply not a great suggestion as a substitution, in my opinion. My first suggestion for this is always, if you feel like you can control the portion size of what you enjoy, there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of what you enjoy. So if you think you can have a cookie and leave it at a cookie, you're not cheating. You're not going to ruin anything.
No.
It's
I
really
do that.
out of control. Like we eat, a whole sleeve of Oreos, or
Talk to me. Talk to me.
He needs the apple.
Now, how am I supposed to just eat one cookie? Now that ain't even that ain't gonna happen.
Problem. That's part of the addiction, right? So a lot of times we can't feel like we could just stick to one cookie. So in cases where the portion control is not necessarily something we could deal with in a healthy manner, then maybe finding an alternative. So I'll give you an example. Like I'm a big ice cream fanatic. That's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of the brand Yasso or seen it in stores?
Yes. Yes.
So it's a Greek yogurt bar. It's based out of Greek yogurt, but they have different flavors like chocolate chip cookie dough or chocolate fudge or salted caramel. Some are like even chocolate dipped. But they have higher protein and lower sugar found in their products. So you can still enjoy a sweet treat that tastes like you're eating an ice cream bar, but it's like 100 calories, 120 calories. And it's portion controlled. You can eat it, you enjoy it, you don't feel guilty, you're satisfied. Boom, you can move on with your life.
Right.
It's like a perfect example of what I would substitute in that case.
Okay, interesting. I'll have to check those out.
Yeah, I might like that.
We actually have them.
Oh, do you?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yara eats them. My daughter, because my fiance is not big on sugary things until special
it comes
times.
into play.
Yeah, but for the most part, she gets the little ice cream bars, and I guess like there's birthday cake flavor. There's all types of flavors. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not allowed to touch them because I'll go through the whole box. But they're good. They are very good though.
I'll have to try those.
Yeah.
Pink box.
I'm gonna put him on your plan. Ashley. He needs an apple.
I had two today. Didn't work.
But
I was still shaking like I need a cookie, baby.
But to your point, Ashley, I never thought about that, to where, like you said, the fruit and the candy are two different sugars. So it's not going to satisfy it because I'm looking for this, but I'm getting this. And then after I eat this, it's like, no, I still want this. But who would know? Because like you said, typically people are like, oh, well, if you're wanting something sweet, then get an apple and peanut butter. Girl, that ain't gonna work. I still want my cookie.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and then you end up eating the apple and peanut butter and the cookie, and you're not solving anything.
Yes. So in the talk about fruit and snacking, what are some healthy snacks that people can eat that are, good for you, but still
Fun.
yeah. And like some of those things that people can, like I always encourage like boiled eggs. Like because they fill you up. They do. So people that just mindless snacking, mindless eating, what are some tips that will help them?
Yeah, and I think snacking sometimes could get a bad rap because we think of snacking in the worst way, like sugary foods or calorie laden foods or late night snacking. And it doesn't necessarily need to be that way, because if we use snacks in a healthy manner and fuel throughout the day, we're not going to feel the need to necessarily overdo it with unhealthy snacks later on in the evening. So my biggest recommendation is when you're choosing a snack, you want to combine a carb and a protein together. So going back to those basic snackers, you're absolutely right. Like boiled egg would be a great source of protein. Well, protein makes us feel fuller throughout the day. But it doesn't provide us with the energy we need. And that's where the carbohydrate comes in. Carbohydrates provide our body with immediate source of energy. So we want to combine the two together so that we're feeling full and we feel energized, and we can go about another 3 to 4 hours without eating. So going back to the apple and peanut butter example, your apple would be your carbohydrate, your peanut butter would be your protein and fat source, and you combine those together, and that would be an ideal snack. Or you could do string cheese and crackers. Your string cheese would be your protein, and your crackers would be your carb, and you're combining those together. So they could be as healthy as you want them to be, or if you want a little, sweet treat, I'm sure you could sprinkle in some, chocolate chips into your yogurt or your Greek yogurt or something like that to get a little sweet in there. But you can come up with all kinds of combinations. You just want that protein carb combo.
And so I have a question, because we did talk about stress, and this question is for both you, Dr. Janze, and also you, Miss Ashley, that when you guys, or is it a point sometimes where you may see that the stressors, or even maybe something psychologically, is going into the poor habits of eating, where it may be out of the realm of you saying like, okay, nutrition, you need a nutritionist or a dietitian. You actually might need a therapist first, and then let's pair that with the nutritionist, because your emotional eating, you know what I mean? Like, this is something that's another trigger besides just, you saying I'm hungry.
Right.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you want me to go first, Dr. Janze, but
yeah, go ahead.
There's definitely like unrelated reasons why we can be, consuming certain things or binging on foods or even restricting certain foods. It could be stress responses. It could be trauma. It could be just purely habitual, or like things that you grew up with in your family. Like if you guys always had certain foods in the house, or you always shared a certain snack with your sibling or your mom or something like that, those.
We're like, uh-oh. There's always a cookie and some candy in the house somewhere.
Yeah. So there's a lot more that goes into it, other than are you just truly hungry or are you truly full? I mean, that's something to consider for sure. But there's plenty of instances where I've worked with clients who I've also suggested working alongside a therapist too, and I check in with them as well to kind of see progress, because there's some things that I'm just not qualified to tap into. So I always defer out to the therapist.
And see, that's why I asked, because I know a lot of people, when I'm emotional about something, I want to eat this. And it doesn't make a difference what anybody says. Yeah, I just want that level of comfort. But then now in both of y'all professions, how do you address it where it's like, you might need to talk to somebody,
Yeah. And then a lot of times, because weight loss, it is a mental, but I think it's important too for therapy, just because you're on this weight loss journey, you have a lot of, and it's a mental thing. Like, you have to learn to unpack all those things to get to where you want to be, coupled with, dietary, nutritionist, maybe some help for me, so it's a big picture than just, I'm going to just lose weight, because once you're off the program or you're doing things different, you've gotten to your weight loss goal, you want to maintain it. And so, and if you're not your mindset isn't changed to these new habits, new way of thinking, new way of eating for life, not that you got to eat to live, that thought. So I think it all boils down to it's a big picture, and they all come together to work for the good of the person. And then you think about the TV show, My 600-Pound Life. A lot of those are issues that happened in their childhood, and emotional eating has been their go-to, and that's their comfort. And so when you're eating, I don't want to eat an apple when I'm feeling bad. I want to eat that big bowl of ice cream.
Right, right.
The good kind.
Yeah.
And to your point too, what I think is good in part with a maintenance program is making sure that you have someone to do the check-ins, because you may be doing extremely well. Then it'll take a life circumstance that will just throw you completely off. And then now you're trying to figure out, how do I go back? Then you're dealing with the guilt of how could I let myself get like this? Yes. And
so
the stress.
So then that just opens the door for lots of other health issues, hypertension, so it's a lot that goes into losing weight, and that's why it's so stressful for a lot of people. I mean, it's stressful to try to figure out what I'm eating next week, and that's why meal prepping, is really key and essential. Can really be a big benefit because it cuts down on all that, unhealthy eating. And then in the concept of, we talk about, home, how we grew up and how we eat. Ashley, can you talk a little bit about what are some healthier ways to cook? Because there's a stigma.
Fat back, bacon grease,
And
gravy with everything.
We had a tendency back then, and even still now, to cook the life out of our food, the nutrients out of our food. but that's true. That's the truth. I mean, we kill it and kill it again. It'd be good. But that may not be the healthiest way, because we can cook out proper nutrients. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So there's quite a few healthier cooking methods you could use. Unfortunately, as yummy as frying foods can be, or microwaving veggies for long periods of time, like those are the things that we want to basically avoid. But I think I'm a big fan of roasting vegetables versus cooking them in a microwave, or completely zapping all the nutrients out of them. I think roasting really brings out great flavor to veggies, and flavors that like people are not really never really experienced with vegetables. Like they just taste so much fresher and richer versus like bland and mushy when you microwave them or steam them too much. So I would recommend trying roasting. Oven baking things is great. Sauteing is wonderful. You just want to avoid anything that's making food products like breaded or too crispy, or lots of gravy on them. Those are telltale signs that they're probably going to be very high in salt and high in fat. But that doesn't mean you can't occasionally have that.
No gravy, no fry, no chicken. What am I supposed to eat?
Roasted vegetables. The chicken in the oven, roasted.
With some roasted vegetables.
That's it.
And get some Tabitha Brown seasoning and go sit down somewhere.
Man, no Lowry seasoning salt?
No. That's why grandmama got high blood pressure. But and then let me ask you this, Ashley, because I know that some people have arguments about dairy. Like some people are like, do not incorporate dairy in your diet, because after a certain age we shouldn't be eating it anymore, and it can lead to inflammation, and inflammation is a whole different road of issues within the body. And then some people are like, no, it's a good way for you to get protein, there's calcium, it's needed. Where do you lie in that argument?
I am very much pro dairy. I love dairy. I can completely understand if someone has a lactose intolerance issue or a milk protein allergy. Those would be your two, biggest issues when it comes to dairy. Completely understand. You probably need to find alternatives and remove it from your diet, or, take lactate pills or something if you're lactose intolerant. But in general, I find, good sources of dairy, meaning, whole milk Greek yogurt versus like sugary, Yoplait or Chobani yogurts or things like that. they're very good protein sources. They're very good fat sources. They're great for your hormone, like to balance your hormones. They're great for fertility for those who are, trying to start a family.
Oh, wow.
Whole milk, whole milk dairy are great for
No, that either.
Stop the dairy now. Stop.
I'm a big fan of it. And I also think, I delve a lot into the sports nutrition world too, with people who are trying to work out more and get fitter and things like that. And dairy sources are great for post-workout recovery. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard, but like chocolate milk is a really great post-workout recovery aid. It has the protein, fat, carbs in the right ratio with sodium and fluid to rehydrate you. So it's just I think it's a great simple tool, great simple food group to incorporate in moderation. We don't want to go crazy on the sugary ice creams and things like that, but
right. We have a question. So how would you plan for a person who has an issue with textures while dealing with food?
That is a really great question. And I wouldn't say that's something that I deal with often. But I will say that if you are a person who deals with textural issues, working with an OT, an occupational therapist, is who I would probably recommend most to consult with. Like from a dietary perspective, I can help with balancing out the foods that you are currently eating so that you're well nourished and you're getting enough nutrients and calories. But as far as like dealing with the textural issues, an OT is probably who I would refer you out to.
That's a good idea. Good idea. Now, when someone goes into the grocery store, they always say shop in certain areas. What are some tools or tips that you can share with people? So when they go into the grocery store, they stay on the outside of the aisle. So what are some things that they can look for? Maybe types of fruit that are better than others.
Great questions. So there's no perfect fruit. No fruit is better than another fruit. Bananas are not bad for you. Pineapples are not bad for you. I've heard it all. All fruit contains the same type of fruit sugar. The only difference is the concentration of the fructose found in that fruit. So, how some fruits are juicier than others. The water content versus the fructose content, the ratio is just going to be a little bit different in different fruits. But as far as where you want to shop the perimeter, like you said. Think about what is in the perimeter of the grocery store. You're finding all of your fresher items. So your fruit, your veggies, your deli, your fresher breads, things like that is where you're gonna want to edge towards, because you want about 80 to 90% of your cart to be filled with the outer perimeter items. If you think about what's found in the inner aisles, that's where all of your processed, packaged, bagged, boxed, frozen items are. So not to say you can't shop in the inner aisles at all, but we are only looking for about 10 to 20% of your cart to be coming from those foods.
Oh no.
Oh man, Miss Ashley.
Oh no.
I'm all through those aisles, baby.
Right? I'm like frozen vegetables, pickled vegetables.
That outside lane is a little expenzioso. I don't know.
Processed meat.
Yeah, in between them lanes is a little cheaper. So then that was going to be my next question. I'm joking, but I'm actually serious. So then let's say like now, your average family size, mom, dad, work and everything like that, money is tight. And so how do we assure this healthy style of living or adopt this healthy style of living for everyone? You know what I mean? Because things are more expensive when you do shop, organically on the outside of the aisles.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And food prices have, drastically gone up over the past couple years. There are some, quote, packaged or more processed items that you could utilize in healthier ways. So just to provide a couple examples, like frozen fruits and vegetables are actually very healthy for you, assuming that they're not adding any additional, creams or salts or sauces to those veggies. If they're just plain frozen fruits and veggies, they're frozen at their peak freshness, and that's wonderful for you. So you could buy those in bulk. You could buy them on sale. You can keep them in your freezer for longer. They're not going to go bad as quickly as fresh options. So that would be one way to save money. You can also use canned fruits and vegetables. We just want to make sure that you're buying low sodium for canned veggies or beans, and rinse them before you cook with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those could be a healthy option, or even canned fruits. Instead of buying in, heavy syrups, you can buy in its natural juices or water, and that could be, perfectly healthy for you too. So those are just a couple ways that you could probably cut some corners with your produce, because organic fruits and veggies are super expensive.
Yeah. And speaking of organic, what are your thoughts on organic? Because I know, you hear a lot about, well, it only has to have a portion of organic for it to have a label on it. And so more people tend to go towards organic thinking that it may be better, which it can be, maybe. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, great question. So organic could definitely be a good thing, but it's also super expensive. So you got to kind of find that balance. And a lot of times the general recommendation is if you peel away what you're eating, like let's say a banana, for instance, you're taking the peel away where the pesticides would actually be on that peel, then you don't have to buy that product organically necessarily, because the part that you're eating is not the part that the pesticides are on. You know what I mean? There's also something called the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15, and it's something released yearly. So it's provided by an environmental group, and they release this every year based on the pesticide usage in different areas of the country, and on different types of produce. And they give you a generalization as far as the cleanest products to purchase conventionally, and the quote dirtiest products that have a lot of pesticide use and we would want to buy more organically. So you can kind of put your money where it matters most when it comes to that.
That's interesting. I never heard of that, but definitely we'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Now, a sweet potato. Like when people talk about sweet potatoes and substituting from your regular white or red potatoes, what are the nutritional values of the sweet potato versus the white or red potato?
Great question. All potatoes are going to have the same carbohydrate count per serving. So there's nothing low carb necessarily about a sweet potato. There's nothing magical about a sweet potato. It's great for you. It's healthy for you. But if you, let's say, have diabetes, or you're watching your blood sugars for whatever reason, a serving of a sweet potato is going to count just the same as a russet potato.
Y'all just want me eating bread. No bread. I can't even eat bread. Rice cakes. That's what I get. Rice cakes. Damn, I thought I was doing something with a little sweet potato. It's the same thing.
It's the same shit.
But there is.
I will say with the sweet potato, the biggest differences you're going to see are more vitamin A, which is why it has that orange color, and more fiber. So it's not, you're not wasting your calories and wasting your nutrition in any way, but the carbohydrates are going to be remarkably similar.
I got to stop talking to you now. I can't eat no cookies. I can't eat sweet potato.
I'm just ruining everything.
I got to go home and reassess the
Roast
whole
your vegetables
kitchen.
and chicken and eat those. What are they called? Yassos. That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
You get your own box.
Right.
I just get veggies. I can't even
And
afford the
go work
organic
out.
ones. I'm going to them cans. Like get those cans, yeah. Beans, that's it. Miss Ashley, all right, it's not in the budget, baby.
But you know what? That's a good point. I love beans. I love black beans. I love whatchamacallit? Great Northern beans. I also love garbanzo beans. Are those okay? Are we safe?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Just making
I don't
sure.
eat all those. I don't.
What?
Yeah, I eat black beans.
I like lentils too.
Yeah, I will eat a little bit of that. Yeah, I don't cook them though. I'm all about quick and fast.
Or a good red beans and rice. I won't even put meat
Oh.
in mine. I'll just make the red beans and then
We
call
come
it
to
a day.
Kim house. So I have one thought, and I guess if you have other questions too, but what piece of advice would you offer someone who is trying to start their weight loss journey or healthier eating just in general, even if they're, at a comfortable weight, but what are some tips that you can offer someone to help them make healthier choices?
Yeah, I think a lot of what we talked about tonight would definitely be helpful for them. But the biggest thing is you have to get your mind right and your mind kind of wrapped around the journey that you're about to go on. And so I always recommend just to start small. I know that's probably not the advice most people want to hear when they're first starting their journey because they're so, excited to start and they want to see results really fast. But if you lose weight too fast, it's very likely you're going to regain that. I've personally seen that time and time again. So slow and steady is going to win your race here. The 1 to 2 pounds a week consistently over time is really where you're going to see the long-term success. So thinking of those small little goals that you could attain, week by week and month by month, and also think of just small dietary and exercise related changes you can make. Like you don't need to run a marathon by the end of the month, but could you walk around the block a couple times or, go for a longer walk with your dog or go for a hike on the weekends? Like what are just some simple things that you could, add into your lifestyle or change up in your lifestyle that's not going to completely overhaul it and stress you out, and then move forward from there. I think that would be the best piece of advice I could give.
And that's good advice.
Awesome. Yep.
It's a constant reminder because, girl, I'm trying to be Beyonce tomorrow. I ain't trying to hear all that.
And that goes to show, that just speaks to the culture too. Everybody want it fast. They want it quick.
Very fast.
And so when people come in for weight loss, I tell them, look, this is not that you lose 20 pounds in 10 days. That is not it. This is that slow and steady because that's really what you want. And I tell people you have to trust the process. If you follow the plan, do the things that you're supposed to do, generally it works out for people.
Agreed.
That is amazing. Well, how they can learn more about you because you have been a wealth of knowledge today, and we just really thank you for taking the time to come and hang with us.
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I have a website. I have Instagram. I have Facebook. I have all the social media channels, but fueledandfit.us is where you can find me. And then Fueled and Fit LLC is my Instagram handle. So feel free to contact me if you have any questions or you want to speak further and have a consultation. I do offer 15-minute free discovery calls for potential clients. So I'd love to speak with you.
Yep. And anybody that comes to me on the weight loss program, definitely we have a referral where you can go and be referred to Ashley.
Boom. Look at that. Women in business. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Goodness. Well, this was a lot of good information. Hopefully you guys learned something today. I know we did. Your sweet potatoes ain't doing shit.
Not a damn thing. I thought I was somebody. Ray said same shit. All right.
You just pick.
Yeah. Just what color do you want to eat,
Right.
bruh?
Bye. but I hope you guys learned something. And then make sure that you guys are following Embodi Hydration and Wellness. Make sure you're following Dr. Janze as well, and that you are tuning in for the next episode of Embody Balance, because once again, we are all about total body health and wellness here. It is a journey. So get your Avenger team together, get your nutritionist, your dietitian, your
therapist.
Yeah, your therapist. Definitely.
You're on the 29th.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah.
So we'll have a therapist here as well.
Because we got things to talk about.
I can't eat sweet potatoes, brother. Damn. You said that's what I was supposed to go to. What now?
He'll be calling you, Ashley. He's gonna need a therapist too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will be back tomorrow. Obi will be in the building, so you will get your birthday song. And we will be also having our nightmare profiles. We heard you guys.
Profiles were hilarious.
There's so many. Oh, there's so many. And we will be doing that tomorrow as well. So make sure you guys keep it locked right here with TDS Radio.
See ya. Peace.
Bye, Ashley.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.